Didier, thank you for sitting down with me. Much appreciated.
I appreciate the invitation. Thanks.
My pleasure. You're in charge of the sunflower breeding, amongst others, in Euralis. Can you tell me some of the challenges that you face at the moment in sunflower breeding?
No, sunflower breeding or for seed company sunflower is not really different than other crops. We have to deal with regulatory issues. We have to deal with climate change. We have to deal with commodity prices. I think we will go back into these topics later on. Maybe what if I have to put an emphasis on two topics, I will say that first, breeding has to unlock the yield at the farmer's level to make the sunflower crop more interesting for him. And after that, we also have to work on the quality of the product, which is harvested or which is crushed or put into the sector to make it more interesting for all the sector, all the chain.
Yeah. This past summer was extremely hot and dry in Europe. And I was wondering if you are, with sunflower breeding, you are working on adapting the crop towards the effects of climate change.
Yes, of course, but be careful because sunflower this summer was not so dry and not everywhere.
Okay.
Of course, it was hot and dry in Western Europe, and the last estimation is only a yield of only 80% of last year in France and Spain, mainly.
Okay.
But on the reverse, the Black Sea region has the best yield for the last 5 years. So we have to be careful when looking or taking data on the climate because it's more complex than that. To answer the question, yes, all the breeders, and I think Euralis, of course, is also in this run, is working on what we can say is the climate change and how it can impact the crop. We had a very interesting meeting in February in Toulouse, organized by the French Public Institute, and on this topic, climate change and sunflower. And really exciting results were presented by scientists, either from the public or the private research. And the conclusion was that sunflower is a crop with very good attributes versus some other crops to face this new situation due to the climate change.
Yeah, I was there in Toulouse, and I saw the tremendous diversity.
Yes.
In the genus Helianthus. Yeah. If you see what is possible, that's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited by this type of information. Yeah, right.
We also know that another big challenge for sunflower breeders is the Orobanche parasite. And I've seen that from the graphs that it's moving really from east to west. Will we, in 20 years' time, will we still have sunflower in Europe?
Yes, for sure. I hope so. But you're right. Orobanche is moving from east to west, and now we can consider that more than 50% of the sunflower acreage in Europe is impacted by Orobanche. Of course, all the fields are not, there is not the same pressure of the parasite on all the fields due to weather conditions, the type of soil, and so on. But Orobanche is clearly the main problem for growers. And that's why, for example, in Euralis, we put in place a smartphone application to give the opportunity to each farmer to analyze the situation of its field versus Orobanche and to provide him with fine-tuned advices on how to face this situation. On the breeding aspect, we are in a good position today because breeders did a very good job last years by finding genes to fight against Orobanche and introducing the genes into the elite germplasm. On the other side, the crop protection put in place some new chemicals with good efficiency against this parasite. And we are at the moment with solution for the farmers. But definitively it's not the victory for the long term, and we have to continue to work on that because we know that the parasite can mute, and we know that the fight is not finished.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned the app against Orobanche. What's the name of the app?
The app is named Master, and it's free on main Google Play or
great. Yeah, it might be interesting for our viewers to learn the app. We've seen quite some time already ago the arrival of hyoleic sunflower. Are there any other exciting innovations in the pipeline?
Iolic was an exciting innovation. Unfortunately, Iolic, if it is really a success in Western Europe with 60% of the acreage in France, for example, and a dominant part also in Spain, has not taken the place we were expecting for that technology in Eastern part of Europe. I think mainly because of lack of channeling, traceability, and all what is after the harvest. So to be clear, if we want to develop this technology now in the big part of Europe interested by sunflower, we have to work all together from the seed company to the crusher and to the collector on how to create a strong chain of traceability to be sure that everything is online, and at the end the end user can have the product he is supposed to be. To answer your question on new traits, if I focus on quality, for example, you know that one of the big topic for the next years will be the protein supply, and all the oilseeds are crops, rapeseed, soybean, and sunflower, for example, are supposed to produce meal, and this meal we try to make it more interesting for the future by giving him added value with better protein content. Soybean is definitively the number one in this run because it's a protein crop and oleic crop. But rapeseed and sunflower have chances to also to be part of this game, and it's a real challenge for breeders to try to improve the protein content of the crop, like sunflower, to make this the meal more attractive than today for feed usage.
Yeah, and that would then also feed into the EU protein plan.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, excellent. That's great.
But it's a long-term challenge.
I can imagine. Yeah. If we abandon sunflower a little bit and look at EU politics. We've seen in the past year some very large mergers and acquisitions taking place. We see some new companies arising from the dust, and I wanted to hear from you what's your take on what's happening currently in the seed sector.
Sunflower is a European crop. We have 20 million hectares acreage in Europe, including CIS, on a total on 26 million on the worldwide level. And most of the company you are talking with, which are involved in this merging and acquisition program or recent program, have their own main offices or have facilities in Europe. So sunflower is, for most of them, an important crop. And I don't know what will be their strategy, but I cannot imagine they will disinvest in this crop, which is really strategic for their core countries.
Yeah, sure. No, I think you're absolutely right there. Another political tsunami, if I may call it, is the recent ruling by the European Court of Justice on plant breeding innovation, where they said that all products from plant breeding innovation are to be regulated as GM. What's your view on this decision?
It's unbelievable. We cannot understand this type of decision. And it's a personal opinion, but I think you can. We are here in the ESA Annual meeting, and I think everybody is with the same feeling. So ESA, National Association, are now working to try to understand what we can do with that new regulatory situation. But definitively, I think it's a bad news and for science, and not only for plant breeding, but globally for European science.
Yeah, and any specific impact for sunflower?
For sunflower, like for other crops, yes. No, there is no reason to say that sunflower will be not impacted by this decision.
Didier, we're here at the ESA Annual meeting in Madrid. But of course, we have all the modern technology, teleconferencing, video conferencing. You could meet all your clients via Skype. Why is it so important to come to the ESA Annual meeting?
So year after year, the ESA meeting is now an important meeting. It is no more the meeting of the European seed companies. Of course it is, because there is statutory events, and this is part of the meeting. But it's also the place where everybody working around the seed, on the seed or on the scene, in Europe or outside Europe, is coming, and we see here in Madrid more. I think there is more people than in Riga last year.
Yep.
And we can hold business meetings. We can discuss with people involved in the sector, not only in the seed breeding activities, but also data management, coating, processing in the seed factory. There is a lot of sectors around the seed which are here. With people from different countries, and in 2-3 days we can meet and we can organize new contacts, and it's really, really positive. And of course, there is the main events organized by ESA, which are also placed to be for discussion, like for the point we talked about a few minutes ago. So it's definitively an important event. It's an annual important event.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Didier.
Thank you very much.